Yo, what up guys? Jumping here, and today I'm going to be bringing you the AT-DES anti-synthetic rifle. So I'm just going to call it anti-synthetic rifle, because I fear I'm going to call it Atlas or some garbage like that. Anyway, so this gun is pretty hated, that's for sure. This was actually my only gameplay I ever played with it, I gotta be honest. I played one game with it, and I was like, well, I probably won't be playing with that gun again. But I didn't think it was all that terrible, to be quite honest. So that's not really the point of this commentary. It's not going to be like, oh, it's the worst gun ever. And I've heard people literally say stuff like that. It's the worst gun ever. It has a purpose, and I could see its uses. The first thing I should say about it, which I actually really like, is that it does work pretty well against GEF. That is for sure. It is the anti-synthetic rifle. So the name is true. It is anti-synthetic. But the first thing it does is that it strips shields really easily. That's really the purpose of the gun. And if you use incinerating ammo, that's what I highly recommend. Using incinerating ammo on this gun. The reason for that is because, just like the Alkalite pistol, if you can strip their shields and you can set them on fire, you're going to set them up for a fire explosion. And that in itself is pretty decent. This gun is really good at doing damage to shields and a pretty decent amount of damage to health. What it lacks, though, is the ability to really take out big armored targets. Now, against GEF armor, like the primes, well, maybe not the primes, but at least the pyros and the bombers and things like that, it does a pretty good job. But I know for a fact that you try to use this against Reapers or something, it'd be the worst. It would probably be your worst game you will ever have, because it's not really meant for that. But if you do use the incinerating ammo, you can at least get some fire explosions that way. So I'm using the Turian Ghost. You gotta remember, it's my first game, so I'm thinking assault rifle. I'm trying to demonstrate the gun. Let me strap it on the best assault rifle wielder in the game, which is the Turian Ghost. Kind of regretted it, though, because that's really not the purpose of this gun. It's not really meant to be the ultimate killing gun. If you want something like that, use a Harrier, Lancer, Typhoon, I don't know. Those are the assault rifles that are really meant for just killing a lot of stuff. Where this gun is, its purpose is to strip shields. So you really need to, if you're going to ever try to play with this gun, you need to incorporate that idea into the build that you're going for. Like maybe someone who wields Overload. Now I know Overload strips shields, true, but at least with this gun you would be able to set up your fire explosions really easily, and then you could detonate it with Overload. So that's something you could do. And, you know, maybe GEF Flamer, things that you want that ability to take down shields quickly. GEF Flamer is a good example. There's a lot of different things you can use. Maybe even some adepts in the game would be pretty good, because you want to take down them shields so you can pull them up in the air or throw them or do something like that. So, you know, there is some combinations you could do, and you can actually walk away being successful with this gun. Especially if you use it with the incinerating ammo, because of course we're like an adept. You could strip the shields, set them on fire, throw them, get a fire explosion, and then follow that up with maybe even a biotic explosion. Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, today is actually, I think, the 26th of March, 2013, for anyone watching in the future. And I was actually a little surprised today. Now maybe tomorrow something might happen, so I don't really know. But there wasn't any multiplayer changes today. Now, one thing BioWare has confirmed, if you guys, this might be news to some people, this might be old news to other people, but one thing BioWare has confirmed as of right now is that there will be no more weekend challenges. I mean, that was kind of obvious, to me at least, because in the last update, multiplayer change, they put all the combination weapons into the real game. So what that means is that you can get like the Hurricane to 10 now, or the Crusader to 10, things like that, by simply buying Spectre packs, you know, the normal way. When they did that, that was pretty obvious that they probably weren't going to do any more weekend challenges. But the other thing they did that also screamed it to me was that they switched the weekend challenge banner to, well, not the banner, but the way that you would get the banner. The old way with the challenges was you had to complete a certain X amount of challenges to get a certain banner. They switched that to you would have to just play unknown map and unknown game, things like that, if you want that banner. So it was pretty obvious to me that they weren't going to do any more weekend challenges, which is kind of whatever. Weekend challenges are cool, I guess, but it really doesn't affect the game in all that much, at least to me. I can see why some people would be disappointed because maybe they really enjoyed the weekend challenges and it kept them going. But me, I don't really need the weekend challenges. But today, I'm actually like a little bit, I'm a little afraid just because there wasn't any multiplayer changes. And what that says to me, in some ways, is that maybe they are not actually going to change the game anymore either. Meaning that there will be no more multiplayer changes, which would be really, really bad for this game. Because that is it is a good thing. Although, yes, a lot of stuff gets nerfed. There's all those nerf-a-lots out there. There's so many weapons and characters in this game that have been buffed over time. And it was good buffs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Flamer got increased to 15-meter radius. Not radius, range. That's great. Like, there's been a lot of really good buffs over time. So if they take those away, that's gonna suck. Because, like, if they were to change 5 things, okay, for the week or every 2 weeks, if they were to change 5 things, let's say 3 weapons and maybe 2 characters, maybe they nerfed 1 character, they buffed 1 character, and they buffed 3 guns. That would give me reason to play with the 3 weapons, to try them out, see how much better they are. The character that got buffed, to see how much better the powers and everything is. Just like the Talon Merc, for example. And if it got nerfed, maybe try that out as well and see, is it still viable? Is it still good? You know, can it still work? Like the Alliance Infiltration Unit, when it got nerfed, the first thing I did was I played a game with the Alliance Infiltration Unit, and I really didn't see all that. I thought it was still really good, basically. So I am a little worried about that, honestly, guys. I don't know how to feel about it. If they stop doing the multiplayer changes, I just think that it can't be a good thing. Although I think everything is somewhat balanced at this point of the game. Everything is pretty decent. Maybe the Talon Merc is a little bit overpowered, but it's whatever at the end of the day. I don't really like to support nerfs or anything like that, so... Anyway, let's go ahead and move on from that. Let's go ahead and talk about this rifle, this anti-synthetic rifle a little bit. Anyway, like I was saying before, it's great for stripping shields. It does do some decent damage to the Geth, all that. Now, the problem with this gun, and I think the problem that most people have with this gun, is that it's kind of, well, it's heavy. That's one of my issues with it, at least. It's a heavy gun, and it doesn't, like, instantly strip shields. It takes multiple shots. Like, on this Turian Ghost, it takes, like, 2 to 3 shots at times. So maybe on the non-Turian Ghost, it would take 3 to 4 shots. I don't really know. It doesn't need to charge up anything like that. It has a pretty slow fire rate. I mean, its fire rate is kind of whatever. It's not the slowest thing in the world, but it's not the fastest thing in the world. It has a huge clip, though. I mean, with extended mags, and there's no purpose to use anything but extended mags. I don't think any type of armor effect is applied to this gun, so piercing is not useful. I'm pretty confident about that, just like the Falcon and Scorpion, things like that. You don't need piercing. It doesn't apply to the gun. So, because of that, extended mags and extended barrel is probably the best way to go, unless you're doing like a melee build or something. I don't know. Maybe lightweight would be something you could do. Because, see, one of the problems with this gun, in my opinion, is that the Alkalite's better. Now, I hate the fact that the Alkalite has to be charged up now, because it was so much better when it didn't need to be charged up. If anything would be changed in the future for a multiplayer change, that's the one thing I really wish they would do. And my biggest beef with this gun is that I think because of a gun like this, they will never change the Alkalite back to the way it was. Because that would totally kill this gun and all its purposes, like in every freaking way possible. When you start to think about different things, like guns designed for taking down shields quickly, like the Alkalite and this anti-synthetic rifle, the way I think of it is, well, it's kind of meant to be a situational kind of gun. you pull it out in certain situations. For example, the Alkalite pistol is still great for platinum and against Cerberus and stuff because it's really light. It doesn't really affect your weight all that much. That's great. And if you see a phantom, just bust it out, charge it up, take down those barriers, and go to town and try to kill it. So that's exactly how most people use the Alkalite. Same with like Banshees, you bust it out, take down the barriers. Once it gets down to the armor, you switch back over to your Lancer or whatever you're using, Cerberus Harrier, I don't know, Flamer Power if you're using like a Geth Trooper. So the Alkalite pistol's, great. Alkalite pistol is a great gun. But anyway, that's my problem with this gun, is that, for one, it's an assault rifle, so pistol is kind of a sidearm. It's meant to just be a sidearm. And for, like, Platinum, for example, honestly, there's really not too many pistols that are that good. Like, the Talon is great for gold, but honestly, the Talon is not that great for Platinum, at least from my experience with it. And I have the Talon 10, and I'll use it on Platinum, and I just feel like I do like no damage to the enemies compared to what I could do if I was using something else. So that is like the Talon in a nutshell. So in general, in my opinion, I think the Alkalite is probably the best gun for Platinum that is a pistol. So that is the gun I would recommend for doing something like this, for taking down shields and setting up fire explosions, by all that. Alkalite's a great gun. The only annoying thing is that, yes, the Alkalite does. The Alkalite actually has to charge up. That is annoying for sure. And this gun does not. But for what you can do in one shot with the Alkalite, it takes like I said, 2 to 3 shots on the Ghost. So I would imagine it could actually maybe even take 3 to 4 shots with anybody else. So that's just not good. Not good at all. I think another big problem that a lot of people have with this gun is that if you've played the DLC for single player and you had this gun, now I never had that DLC, but I heard this from a lot of people. A lot of people told me this, is that this gun was amazing. It was amazing for the single player, just like the Venom Shotgun was. The Venom Shotgun in single player could literally like one-shot bosses on like normal and 2-shot bosses on like insanity. So that's really crazy that the Venom Shotgun was that powerful. It was 500% damage if you charged up, where in multiplayer it's only 25% now. And at first, when I did my video with that, it was only 10%. They buffed it, thank God. And this gun, I don't know what the difference is. I would imagine that the damage it isn't there compared to what it was in single player. But, I don't know. I just remember when that DLC came out for single player, a couple people who got it right away told me, yeah man, that anti-synthetic rifle is amazing. They could never add that to multiplayer. It's so good. And maybe that's why they changed it. Maybe that's why they made it the way it is, where it's not really all that great. I mean, look at the Spitfire. The Spitfire, there's like a part in single player where I think you fight against like 3 Geth Primes, and they give you a couple Spitfires. You can literally pick up one of those Spitfires and take out a Prime in like a half of a second. It is insane. It does so much damage. And Spitfire for multiplayer doesn't even come close. I mean, it is nothing like it was in at least that moment in single player, where you pick it up as a heavy weapon. I don't know, guys. I am really happy to bring you this video. But although this gun, it has its uses, and it is an okay gun, especially for gold, I probably will not be playing with it again. That's just me. Just because, like I said, I only played 1 game with this gun. I know that sounds terrible. It really does. It sounds really bad when I say, oh, I played 1 game, and now I'm reviewing it. It's really tough for me to review a gun if I've only played 1 game, right? Yeah, but here's the thing. I understand this gun. I understand the purpose of this gun. And if you use it the right way, it can be effective. And it has purpose. My only real problem is that for what this gun can do. And I hate saying this because I've been saying this a lot recently. But I don't know. I start to see it more and more now. More than ever. Especially with this DLC. This Reckoning DLC. for what this gun can do, the Alkalite can do better, so why not use the Alkalite? Things like that. Like, I've said that about so many of these guns where it's like, oh, the Punisher's a pretty good gun, but the Hurricane's better. I don't know. Like, that's a problem to me. I don't want to say that, but that is the way it is. And when you're talking about things like plain gold or platinum, whatever, you should honestly use... You shouldn't go into platinum with a Predator X, okay? You shouldn't do that. You will be, for one, you will definitely probably be, like, kicked if you try to use, like, a Predator X and an Avenger 10. Because nobody wants to, they're just going to think that you're some random guy who just got the game, or that you're a scrub, whatever it is. And they're gonna kick you, probably. So, in general, you're, like, hurting your team if you don't use something that is better. Like, if I was playing... If I decided, okay, I'm going to use the Facetin. I like the Facetin, because I really do like the Facetin. I think it's a good gun. It's a fun gun to play with. I like the Facetin. But if I was trying to play like with some random people, and I was trying to do Platinum, I would be hurting my team by playing with that gun compared to playing with like a Harrier. See what I'm saying here? Or like, I could use the Piranha, but instead I decided, no, I want to play with the Scimitar. There's no purpose to do that. I'm just going to be hurting my team in the end. So that's really what I'm saying here, is that that's a big problem. I can't support the idea of you or anybody who watches my videos to go and play with something when there's better options out there. I have to kind of recommend those better options, because I do not want to like support this idea that you should go and play, you know, games with certain things that I just think would hurt your team. I don't want to see anyone like fail a mission because you were playing with the anti-synthetic rifle or something, trying this out on Platinum, and this is the only thing you brought in, and you're going against Reaper Start. I mean, I don't want to see that happen. So that's really the purpose behind saying all that kind of stuff, is because it is kind of important. But you know, overall though, like I said, if you're going to use this gun the way that it's intended to be used, it is honestly not all that bad. Against Scaff on gold. Another thing as well, this is a gold gun. I would definitely say that. Like, where the Alkalite is a platinum gun that you can easily use as a sidearm, take down some shields, take down some barriers, all that. This is a gold gun. If you're going to use this gun just for fun, or if you're trying to get the challenge, use it on gold and use it against Geff. And once you get the challenge, then you don't really need to play with the gun anymore, unless you really love it. It is really fun to set up these fire explosions, and like I said, if you play with anyone in the game, like the Human Engineer or something along those lines that can easily detonate their own explosions, go for it. It is a really fun gun to actually play with. Now, one thing I should comment about, which was important to me, is about the Collector SMG. I decided that I will finally actually make a statement about that gun. Because it's really funny to me how like, I'll make the little trolling videos where I'm just fucking around for fun. It's meant to be funny, it's meant to be for fun, it's not really meant to be serious. I'm not a serious guy. I'm really not. Like, I try to have fun most of the time. That's why when I play like a game like this, I'm not trying to be all serious all the time. I try to like just goof around a lot. That's important. Like, otherwise the game will be boring if I'm like a tryhard. Like, I don't play Halo like that. I don't play Call of Duty like that. I don't play any game like that. At least anymore. Like, Halo back in the day, I used to be a big time tryhard. But from being a tryhard, like, I just realized that the game is not fun if you take it so seriously. It's kind of meant to just, like, if something really stupid and it's bullshit happens, instead of saying, "Oh, bullshit! Oh!" laugh it off. Like, that's the point. Like, just start dying laughing, because more than likely it was hilarious. That's what I'm saying here. But I will comment about the Collector SMG. And it blows my mind that in those videos, I always say, you know, the gun is so amazing, it's overpowered, you can fly, and just crazy stuff like that. And then people, I know it's sarcastic, but people will comment like, it's all, you know, it's not that bad. I mean, I don't see what the problem is. I'm like, did I say it was bad? I never said it was bad. I really never said it was good, only because of the fact that I was being so sarcastic. But I never said it was bad. The thing about the Collector SMG is, the problem with that gun is that it's the only ultra rare, in my opinion, it's the only ultra rare that is not good at the lower levels. You have to level that gun up. If you can get it to 10, it's great. If you can get it past 5, it's probably pretty good. But at the lower levels, it's total shit because the capacity is shit. See what I'm saying here? And that, being that the Collector SMG is the only ultra rare gun in this game that is pretty shit at the lower levels, because think about it. The Harrier is great at level 1. The Saber is pretty good at level 1. The Javelin is good at level 1. Most of the guns are actually pretty good at level 1. The Wraith's great at level 1. For the Collector SMG to be like kind of like at level 1, it's really disappointing. But the gun is actually good. It actually is good, guys. Like, the Collector SMG is good. If you use it on someone who uses powers, like the Human Engineer, the Fury, the Valkyrie, it's really effective because you never have to reload. It doesn't really have bad recoil. It does a good amount of damage against armor. So that's my statement on it, is that yes, it is actually a pretty decent gun, but only at the higher levels. From anywhere between the midpoint, level 5 or higher, to level 10, it's pretty good, and then it becomes good. But before that, like level 1 and 2 and 3, it's pretty shit because its capacity is just so low. You're going to constantly run out of ammo, and it just is annoying. So that is my statement about it. That's all. That's the last time I'm ever going to bring that gun up. But I really hope you have enjoyed this video. Please like and favorite it for me, and you guys have a very nice day. Peace out.